25 years ago, Quake was released and is one of the most influential games of my childhood, and I would suspect of many others as well. It was a really insanely polished first-person shooter that was really the next generation of first-person shooters. After games like Doom, you had movement that required a mouse to aim, not just horizontally, but also vertically. Really polished graphical engine, lots of weapons, lots of very intuitive level design, lots of secrets, and a pretty good challenge. 25 years ago. And most people had very fond memories of playing this on their PCs, but there was a small handful of people who did not have gaming PCs growing up and missed out on this absolute gem. And one of the really cool things that was announced during QuakeCon was that Quake would actually be remastered and was coming to consoles everywhere. And what you're looking at now is me playing it on the PlayStation 5. Although this is currently the PlayStation 4 version, the quote-unquote next generation upgrade is going to be coming at a later date, which will increase the frame rate, among some other things. Although I've got to say, I don't know if you're going to notice much of a difference past this. Most people who played this game, I know me in particular, this is way more optimized than the experience most of us had when playing on our PCs, because we didn't have high-end graphics cards back then. Well, at least the younger ones of us didn't. I was just happy I got this thing to run. But now it's in all its glory, and it's been re-visualized and mastered, I think, to what the true intent of what the game was supposed to be. This edition, you can get it on Game Pass right now. It is included in your Game Pass subscription, obviously, because Bethesda is now Xbox. I picked it up on PlayStation because I like the DualShock controller better, and because I like those sweet, sweet trophies. So I paid $10 for it gladly. It's also available on the Nintendo Switch as well. I believe it's $10 there as well. So if you've never played Quake, you really, really should consider playing this. This game has aged incredibly well. Yes, I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at some of these visuals who've never played this game before and laughing at how blocky some of the characters are, but I feel like a lot of great attention has gone into this game, particularly this version of the game, with such a high level of remastering some of the animations and the lighting effects and just how well it works with a controller. Now, one thing I will point out, this game is meant to be played fast. You're meant to do a lot of running and gunning. Yes, they want you to explore. Yes, you will find lots of secrets and switches that open things all the way across the map that you have to go find, and you will get a report at the end of each level on just how well you did. However, I highly recommend you turn running off, take your time, walk around, enjoy the world for what it is, and kind of systematically beat each room, because this game was meant to be trolly and difficult, and it is. Now, I'm just playing on the normal difficulty, and I consider myself a pretty good first-person shooter. But, man, does this game pose quite a challenge. Hard games back then were no joke. And there are lots of places where you're going to get tagged and you're going to die. And when you die, you start over from the beginning of the level. So you're not going to have a lot of the quality comforts that you've come to expect in terms of some of the quick saving and instance kind of stuff. There's no checkpoints. You load a level, you play it all the way through, and you're done. And you're going to want to take your time to explore, as I mentioned, because there are a lot of cool little secrets. Now, I will admit most of the secrets are typically just in-game items. They're not really cool Easter eggs in the way that like Doom, for example, the first Doom that came out maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, how that had some really cool Easter eggs in it that were throwback levels. You're not going to find stuff like that. But what you will find is gold armor and quad damage and tons of bullets and weapons and that sort of thing that I think they're going to keep you going. And it's just cool to be a completionist and find this kind of stuff. They are hidden in some pretty clever areas for sure. This version of the game also includes all of the original DLC from the original release way back when they did release a couple content packs. But it also includes a brand new set of levels never before seen, just are basically made just for this version of the game. So I think if you're a purist of Quake, you definitely owe it to yourself to check this out just on that merit alone. And like I said, $10 is not a bad price for this. Free if you have it on Game Pass. You're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it for sure. I think most people will find the aiming to be a little difficult. I know that I do. While this game, as I mentioned, was really designed with a keyboard and mouse in mind, the translation over to the controller is a little rough. There are independent sliders for the X and Y axes, and I fully expect many of you will actually use different sliders for both, primarily because the game is just a little smoother, I think, horizontally than vertically. And I think you're going to find that that works out just a little bit better for you. But, you know, your mileage may vary. You're going to be able to figure out what you want to do. Interestingly enough, the developers decided to add a motion control mode, so you can actually use your DualSense kind of like you would a Wii controller and aim that way as well. I immediately turned that off. I do not like that at all. However, they've thought of including that as well. I'm not really sure why. It's kind of bonkers. But I think you're going to just enjoy figuring out kind of what works for you. And I think once you get into the groove on how to aim, and like I said, I recommend you turn that auto run off, I think you're going to have a really fun time with this one. This has definitely earned a place in one of the greatest games of all time, no doubt about it. And I think it deserves people's attention to at least play some of it, at least get through the first act or something, just to say you can kind of quote unquote know your roots. So you can really understand kind of where, you know, this genre came from and understand why people like Tim Willits are so influential in the first-person shooter space, and seeing some of these concepts that existed in this game that really never existed elsewhere. Can't recommend this one enough. I can't stop playing it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I think that you guys will too. Hope if you like this video, consider throwing me a like or a comment below, or even a subscription. I'll be streaming more of this in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.